I mean, I like how on the script it says, is it centered? Is it actually? This is multitasking on a whole new level.
Oh, I'm so stressed.
Are you?
Louise was stressing me out so much.
Oh, I've just moved over. Am I?
You're in centre this one, right? We'll put this right here because I have no idea what we're talking about.
You love it.
Welcome to The Name We Wanted Wasn't Available.
The podcast hosted by Holly and Louise, where we talk all things
Besties,
creative solopreneurship.
boss babes, building businesses from the ground up. If it's your first time listening, you can catch us with audio every Wednesday and visuals every Saturday.
Make sure you follow us on all socials and platforms so you don't miss a thing. At The Name We Wanted Wasn't Available. And which platforms is that on, Holly?
Instagram is The Name We Wanted Wasn't Available, and on TikTok, The Name Wasn't Available, and of course, YouTube and Spotify. I'm going to jump in really quickly because Lewis is having this reaction because I cut one of his lines from the introduction and he's only just read the script to realise. And I'm going to leave it to you guys to comment if you know which line has been cut.
They'll know.
We'll see. We'll find out.
I couldn't remember off the top of my head, but I know it's an important one that shouldn't be cut, that you all want to hear.
We'll find out.
Oh.
Anyway.
Happy New Year! Wait! That was what we're going into, right?
Yeah, but not like that.
What do you mean? Happy New Year! So, the context of that is New Year. It's 2025, people. As you well know, because you've been watching all of our episodes, we are back.
20-minute episodes, remember? This is one of the changes that we're making.
Split it down. We're making some changes. We're batch creating, and you know we're batch creating. So this is our first episode of 2025. We actually filmed the first batch December the 13th.
No,
It's 6
we don't need all of this context.
There's no more context. This is
The
2025
line
now.
was, Happy New Year, everyone. It's officially
But they don't know
2025
it's
on the
25.
pod.
Happy New Year, everyone. It's officially 2025 on the pod. Well, the name we wanted wasn't available.
This is going to be a very taxing episode.
It
I can
is.
feel that coming.
It is. Welcome
Anyway,
back.
it's been a really interesting start to the year, to say the least, and it has been a while since we have recorded these episodes for you guys. We have been overwhelmed with the positive feedback from episodes 1 to 3, so thank you so much for all the support so far. It is beyond appreciated, and we are really looking forward to continuing this journey with you all.
Yes, we are.
So, first of all, Lewis, how's your year got off to so far?
Good start to the year.
Yeah, I reckon so. It's been a bit up and down, but we made it through Christmas. We are into that fresh spirit of new year, new goals. And
New year, new me.
it's actually it's actually been really nice to have a little bit of a break or a zone in, so to speak, to focus on getting things off to the right start. So I know you've got some interesting launches happening. Do you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, it's been a good start to the year. We've got some new things coming on, obviously, the next batch of the pod. That's going to check that one out there, the pod. But no, I've actually been starting a few new companies because I thought 2025, let's work. That's the only thing I can think of. So I have, as you're very aware, Drop the Mic Live. It's an events company that I'm starting, and potentially a second production company also. So yeah, that's it. So look out, keep your eyes and ears for those, because that's going to be fun once the stress dies down of my brain.
For myself, it has been an interesting start to the year. I wouldn't say it's been the best, but silver lining, we are looking onwards and upwards, and we will share more later in the episode as to some of the challenges that have been faced. However, as for the podcast, like we said, we're incredibly grateful for your amazing feedback.
Yes.
It's been awesome to hear that it's official, Lewis bullies me. And you're all acutely aware of it now.
Apparently so.
And we have definitely reviewed the episodes so far to figure out what we really like versus what you guys really like. And we will be shortening the episodes temporarily to 20 minutes just to ensure that we are actually delivering you value and not just giving you 30 minutes of our absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
But please keep providing the feedback, DMs, email at contact@Holly&Lewis.
Yes.
We love to hear your thoughts and continue to deliver what is most helpful to you guys. It also goes without saying, we actually still don't have a name.
Yeah, Let's say the polls went up. We did get some results in. Lolly and From Scratch came up tops trumps.
Yep.
Which is baffling to me. Lolly, you seem to love. From Scratch, I don't think we can afford. So that's that's a much
Apart
of
from
muchness.
not being able to afford it, I think also the fact that it is so expensive is kind of indicative of the fact that it's popular. And I don't know how much additional controversy we would end up coming into with that name. So I think that's another reason to write it off.
Too popular for us.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm actually really happy that 9 to 5 Who came in second, because that is one of my favourite names, which I think you're still hating, if I'm correct.
Yeah, with a passion.
I don't know why. You think it's the worst?
It's the worst. Everyone would just think we're like a Dolly Parton tribute
I like it.
podcast.
I also like More to Life
Yeah, which came in solid last,
with no votes.
as did Holly and Lewis. So thanks for hating our names. My birth name, but okay.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, they weren't very popular, and also Lewis and I can only think of More to Life.
More to life.
So
Because Vikings exist.
on that base, it's possible that we won't be proceeding with that either. So the question is still open. If you get any more ideas, please let us know.
Write them in.
Lewis did actually say that we had a couple of suggestions. In the mix was,
On the YouTubes.
oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
On the Who tube,
On the YouTubes. Yeah. Cool, on the tube.
Yellowish,
Yeah.
Hoily Wells.
I think that's a mixture of our name.
Okay.
Oilywellis, I think.
Oilishly. We can't say them. So on that basis, we're probably not going to use them. And the Glistening Isle
Glistening Isles.
podcast, which is a reference that no one is going to understand until Gallimere is out.
And we then might face copyright, trademark issues, Mr. Oliver.
But we do
From
appreciate
yourself.
we do appreciate the suggestion. However, we are going to have to keep searching. So enough about the name. We thought it would be useful to...
Talk through some.
Lewis has done that especially because I stopped the sentence on here at, we thought it'd be useful to talk through some, and then there actually just says nothing. So
Put these bad
based on
boys
the
down.
time, we're actually going to talk through something that is a little bit sad that happened this month, but does come with some lessons and some piece of advice that we do think it would be really important to share with you all. Unfortunately, on the 8th of January, which was the day that our first episode was released, my phone was snatched in central London. Now, whilst to some this may not seem like the biggest deal of all, it has had monumental impacts for so many reasons. Apart from the fact, obviously, it is incredibly scary, and there's the invasion of your privacy, and I'm actually just baffling because I'm probably going to get a bit emotional. Don't get emotional. We don't need to be... I'm baffling a little bit. Effectively, I was on my way to a PR meeting, and counterparts were running a little bit behind time. I thought I would fill some time with just like getting some water and stuff like that. I was in the London Bridge area, and the phone was unlocked and was snatched out of my hands by 3 bikers, all in black, balaclavas, electric bikes. It has been a massive problem in London as of recently. And aside from the value of the phone, obviously for work, I do have the latest iPhone. So we're talking 16 Pro Max, 512 gigabyte.
Like, a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But the materialistic thing aside, the biggest concern for myself was the fact that the phone was stolen unlocked. And obviously that is my work phone that holds the main key effectively to my business for both content creation and holding client data. Naturally, I do everything that I can to make sure that client data is as secure as possible. But you know how technology advances, I guess. We always have the worry and the concern of how much becomes accessible to people because...
Yeah, how much is takeable from a device and what you can sort of data scrape, because that is a thing. Companies can just data scrape
Exactly.
everything, I guess, to an extent.
100%. And there's also the concern of like, you're not going to get your phone back, but it's like a super terrorizing experience. I was thankfully so lucky that this wonderful, beautiful, amazing girl, Lucy, had actually spotted what was about to happen in M&S. And she came running out, helped me in every possible way that she could, enabling me to call loved ones, to get hold of people, to let people know that like what had happened. Also just comforting me in that time that was like
Just highly stressful.
Yeah, just so overwhelming. And my biggest piece of advice that I guess I would love to share with you all in this situation is grab yourself a wrist strap.
Yeah.
I know it might sound painstakingly obvious, and there are all sorts of stories around like, yeah, but then if it's attached to you, then like they can take you with it. On reflection, like realistically, I'd have rather have fallen and scraped my knee and kept the phone.
The phone, yeah.
And just have stood half a chance of being able to keep hold of that device. And for any of our listeners who are in London, it is just such a massive issue.
It is like heads on swivels at this point, which is absolutely insane to have to continuously be fearful of, but just like it's a constant like worry, right? Like the back of your mind, every time you come outside, it's like, right, I've got to make sure no one's going to steal my phone.
Yeah.
I can't use the device that I own to do that we use pretty much for everything at this point in life. Yeah.
And I think there's also, I think there can be a little bit of a misconception with like why my phone was out in that moment of time. Obviously, like as content creators, there's a lot of encouragement of like obviously giving people that insight into your personal life. So
everything is content. Like it was a whole thing, right? It's like everything is content, and it is. Everything is content. So
like ironically, that day I was actually documenting like a day in my life. However, the saddest part is it wasn't that got my phone stolen. Like in a way, I'd kind of like slap myself on the wrist if it was because my phone had been up
doing
here,
crazy stuff.
Which earlier that day I actually had been. But sadly, it was done in a moment where I was actually trying to keep phone in pocket because I know it's an area of which phone theft is really high. But I just didn't know where I was going. And I was trying to tuck myself away to basically check the map to find out where the office was. And I was just really unfortunate that was the moment of opportunity of which it got.
Yeah, it's a lot of bad timing as well. It's like my phone just happened to be out the second they were here and they saw me and that's gone. Like it kind of really happened to anyone at really any point at this point now.
Yeah.
And so with the electric bikes, it's silent. Like it's not even like you're hearing stuff come, it's just gone.
Exactly. So apologies that the marketing hasn't been overly hot around this time, because that is literally the answer as to why any material I had and that intended to be posted that day literally was taken from my hands.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, there was just not a lot I can do. Mentally, it has taken a bit of a toll, and it's taken a few weeks to shake that off. But advice is, if this happens to you, which we pray that it doesn't, make sure you call the police and document that the event has happened. Because the insurance is a whole other thing.
Yeah, it's a whole fight.
Also, if you are an Apple user, make sure to put your phone into lost mode and screenshot it for the insurance company. This is something I've had a bit of a battle with, because what you kind of need to be careful of is erasing the phone. So in my instance, the phone was taken and the phone was turned off immediately. I've put the phone into lost mode, which from an insurance perspective is great for letting like your telephone provider and the insurance know that you don't have possession of the item, but you can set your phone to erase. Now, this is obviously key for them protecting the data for whoever is then holding onto the device. However, as soon as the phone reconnects to any form of internet, whether it be Wi-Fi or like a general service, your phone will no longer display as lost. It will just display as empty. So that can cause a bit of a flag up. So just make sure to get all of these screenshots along the way. It can be a highly stressful situation, but these small changes are a great indicator for proving the version of
Proof, isn't
events
it?
that
Always
day.
the proof. The insurance company will be like, oh, we need proof of this and proof of this.
Yeah, and the wrist straps over the body straps as well, because the body straps are easier for people to basically slash the strap, whereas if it's on your wrist, it's little and it's just closer to you all round. Like, it's less noticeable that you would actually have that at all.
Yeah.
Whereas people can basically see you've got a device.
Yeah.
And it's just more of a highlight. So whilst we are absolutely not acting on behalf of the Metropolitan Police, these are just our personal takeaways from the situation that we felt
necessary. Yeah.
It's just an important topic to share, and like, it's not about victimizing me or my experience. This is a massive problem.
Yeah, like, you're not injured. I'm safe. Fine.
Yes.
Very irritating. Very annoying, but
if you can think of some old school ways of like just having backups in paper form and some backups
written down passwords at home. Yeah.
No, it's not the safest way in other respects, but also like back up every way you know that you can is the moral of the story. Yeah. I don't know if this is a really random episode.
It is, but it's not. It's what happened. It is what it is. It's also, I think, as creatives now, so much is on your phone. Like, I find I'm not heavy social media, as you're aware, but I have like 4 different social media accounts on my phone. Or like, I'm saying, like 4 on Instagram, 4 on Facebook, 4 on LinkedIn, and they're all attached and they're all kind of with the passwords in Google and all of that stuff. So as much as it is random, I feel like it's such an important thing. As you say, like, it would have really thrown me to lose my phone. It would take me weeks to even get back, and I would have just lost loads of stuff, loads of data, loads of images, videos that I've taken over time. The second phone is also, so you've got a secondary phone as well.
Yeah.
It's also quite useful because then you can have either split, or you can split between personal and business that way, because the lines do blur in the creative industries where your business is your person and you are your business.
Also, that's a really important point to touch on, actually, because since my phone getting stolen, when I was working previously in sales, I did have a secondary phone, but I had an Android, and I did that because of the way that the company was set up, and for legal reasons, I didn't want the data to be able to merge with my Apple devices because I have everything Apple. However, I will now, hopefully I get the new phone from the insurance and that all completes. But moving forward, I will be, for my day-to-day, using a secondary iPhone that is not top of the range, but is good enough that if I want to capture a piece of content, I can capture a piece of content. But if this were to ever happen again, it means I can actually access like all of my information, because I couldn't do that. Like, and I've obviously not been using the Samsung because it's not been compatible with everything.
That's exactly what I have. I've Huawei's. No one has Huawei's anymore, but I have 2 Huawei's. One is the one I use, and one is like the downgrade of it, like 2 iterations back, but they do connect. So it's like, if something happens, I could then get the new SIM card, put it into the new phone, and it should connect all of the stuff across, because that is such a stress.
And it's like, I would say there is a great benefit in like basically picking the provider that you want to go with for your tech, because it is a lot easier for everybody to like advise you and help recover pieces of information.
You're in one world.
Yeah, and I think like we could go on for forever and a day about whether it should be one or the other. At the end of the day, like, if you find something that you like, stick with it, because effectively you need everything to be somewhat transferable. And you need to be able to access different pools of information from different devices. And yes, I've been unfortunate that some things have been really thrown off, but by the most part, being fortunate enough to get hold of a new iPhone to just try and tap back into some of it is how I've been able to at least continue working this month without too much of an effect, although it's not exactly gone how I would have
planned it to be. Yeah.
Is there anything more that we want to add on to that?
Apart from being out and getting your phone stolen, you're also doing something else out and about in town coming up, I mean, in the near future. Are you not, Mrs. Holes?
You're right. Tomorrow...
Ending on a bit more of a positive note, so...
He's right. I've also been really hard on him today. The way that we're filming this episode is like, this is going to be the first episode that you guys see, but it's actually the last episode we're filming of today. And I've really given Lewis stick because
I have no idea what was going on.
he's been a loose cannon today. However, I do love Lewis and thank you. Tomorrow, we are doing our first walk for social strolls. Yay! I'm actually really excited.
This will not be tomorrow for you. This will be last week. But yes. Tomorrow for
You're
us.
right. So this month we are launching our first social strolls walk. And Social Strolls is going to be a community-based company an initiative. It is a community-based initiative where I feel very passionately about the effects of doom scrolling on our mental health. I have struggled a lot with my mental health, and one of the ways in which I have overcome really bad spells and really bad bouts of negativity has literally been as simple as getting outside. On our last episode, we were speaking about the pressures of Christmas and stuff like that. And when I got to New Year, I particularly felt really overwhelmed seeing all the wrap-ups of what everyone had achieved in 2024 and what they were ambitioning for 2025. And I'm going to be honest with you, I felt shit about myself. And it was literally as brutal as that.
Yeah, they all came out literally the same day as well. I feel like everyone just dropped.
Yeah.
2024, 2025.
And I couldn't see what I was doing well. I felt like I was failing and I felt like I wasn't far enough ahead. And the thing that I really wanted was to be able to speak with other people who were in a like-minded situation. And I very quickly realized I didn't have that. There are communities on the internet where you can sign up and then you pay another creator to be part of their conversation. And it's $8.99 a month. And whilst it doesn't break the bank, it still doesn't get you off of a screen.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to start this initiative to get people back out into fresh air.
Take it into the real world.
Yes.
Why would you? That's so nice. Take it into the real world.
But
We're off the cams.
I just think equally we're surrounded by running clubs and other fitness clubs, and what if you're not into fitness? What if you're not at a certain fitness level? I don't want you to have to tick a box. I just want to bring people together in a way that you can network, you can make friendships, you can maybe just have a break.
It's fun to support as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Other like-minded people and people that are going through similar issues. As I say, the creative fields are a lot of similar issues that everyone has.
And even if you're not in the creative space and maybe you work an office job and I don't know, maybe you're a receptionist. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. You will still have your own concerns. And if you want to be a part of this mission, I probably hit the mic there.
We, yeah. This is Holly.
Yeah, it is.
I was just taking the we, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would really love you to join and be a part of it because I, in the future, will be talking a lot more about the impact of doom scrolling on your mental health and the pressures of social media. So we will be swapping doom scrolling for strolling, and the walk tomorrow is probably just going to be 4 of us, me, Lewis, Ray and beautiful Becca. And we're going to start small, but we want it to grow organically. We don't want people to just come to make false commitment. I really want it to impact the community in the most positive way possible and create a really safe space for people to get the breath of fresh air.
I like that.
Thank you. I didn't mean to, but it was nice.
Fun. We love it.
Unintentional.
So what are the socials? We're doing a plug now. I'm interviewing you. So what are the socials that we could follow you on if we'd like to be involved in the social strolls?
Just at Social Strolls.
Love it.
It's
nice
simple as.
Yeah, so come down to the next one, I guess.
Yeah.
This will be out after the first one.
Oh, yeah.
If you follow the Instagram and stuff, you'll probably see where the next one's going to be held.
Yes.
Held, I guess.
You're completely correct.
The journey. So yeah.
We're also trying to make an effort to not plug ourselves too much because we did a bit too much plugging on our last.
As you can see, we failed already.
Yeah.
Episode 1, Mr. Plug Boy.
I don't know what that was.
Staying in there.
Fine. But yeah, so we've got Drop the Mic Live, which is events, open mics.
Upcoming artists. Get in touch if you want to sing or rap or do art stuff.
Oh no, I was wanting you
Jesus.
to give a little bit more information.
Oh, we're doing a full plug now. I was trying to not do
you're
a
not
plug.
plugging. You're just going to tell,
Oh,
because also social strolls, but also we've got Drop the Mic.
Oh yeah, Drop the Mic Lives, curated open mic nights, going to be in the Broxbourne area to begin with, then we're going to be hoping to look to branch out a bit further. But it's basically just for upcoming artists, to give local artists and general up-and-coming artists the platform to perform with a semi-professional, as professional as we can get them to be environment, so that you just have an opportunity to thrive and grow as a community of artists. Really,
Yep.
that's it. So yeah.
And Lewis does actually have a really interesting story to tell with this, which I think we should definitely bring into another episode about
Yes.
like a community interest-based company and what that means and how you can set that up, and
Yeah.
just basically how that's different to a normal company. Because, for example, I'm doing like a community initiative, but you're quite convinced that I could make this into a community interest-based
community.
company. And I think there's a lesson here for basically what those differences
Yeah, the difference
are.
is like sole trader, limited company, community interest company, charity, and there's
Yeah.
the different. Yeah, I won't go into it now because it's a whole thing, and I know we're probably running.
Fine.
I was about to start, and I was like, no, let me not.
So the moral of today's pod is that we definitely didn't stick to 20 minutes.
No.
We've, in a roundabout way, given you a wrap up, a sad story, but also ended on a positive note that we are still learning, growing, and trying to take our entrepreneurship to the next level.
Yes, always. Pumping it forwards.
Fine, pumping it forwards. I don't know what to say to these comments because they are so random, and Lewis loves to insert them at the most uncanny times.
Yep.
But it wouldn't be a true episode of The Name We Wanted Wasn't Available if we didn't have a random fact. So,
Oh goodness, I
Lewis,
forgot we were doing that. I forgot again. Random fact of the week. Look how he's sitting up. Holes, did you know bananas are berries and strawberries aren't? A banana is a berry, but strawberry is not a berry.
I really didn't know that.
Did you not know that? So,
No.
So, you ready for it?
Okay.
Botanically speaking, bananas meet all the criteria of a berry, while strawberries do not. Technically, a true berry is a fruit produced by the ovary of a single flower with seeds embedded in the flesh. So because the flower, the ovary, produces the banana, and then like modern day bananas kind of got them taken out with like genetically modified, but like bananas supposed to have the seeds inside, whereas strawberries, the seeds are on the outside. Yeah, so technically a strawberry counts as an aggregate fruit, because it's like loads of little, like each seed is like...
Oh, it's its own
Little
thing.
sections, yeah. So it's kind of just one big mush of sections that turns into a strawberry.
That's really clever.
Crazy, the name strawberry is not a berry. Of
Yeah.
all of the names you could have named it.
I actually really like that.
You know that one?
Yeah, I do. Also because I've now joined vegetarianism. I'm no longer a meat eater.
And you've said it on the pod now, you have to keep it up. That's pressure.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Again, we'll probably talk about that that's not a now. But it's a nice fun fact as I go into this new journey of exploring more with food, because
You can eat some aggregate, straw
that's
aggregate
absolutely
fruits.
wild.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Obsessed. Well,
Obsessed.
guys, thank you for still being a part of our chaotic conversation that is not just unfiltered, it's actually incredibly chaotic as well. Anyway, you can do the official outro.
Yeah, I don't know what that sounds. I'm losing my mind. You changed the episode and ready to start the intro. Thank you for joining us on The Name We Wanted Wasn't Available.
Do you think you could deliver that to the camera? Like, rather than like saying it as if you're like...
Change words in the outro as well.
I don't think I have.
Yes, you... Oh, no, you haven't. Okay, cool. Thank you for joining us on The Name We Wanted Wasn't Available.
We hope you find our unfiltered conversations useful.
Keep building, keep dreaming, and stay amazing.
Don't forget to follow us at The Name We Wanted Wasn't Available. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify.
And if there's anything else you'd like to discuss, or if you just want to get in touch and tell me how amazing I am, please feel free to drop us an email at contact@hollyandlewis.com.
Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. Bye for now.
Bye!
Biddly beep, biddly beep, biddly beep. You love it.